Hi. Just when you think your day is going to go like as planned, God says, no, we have a change of plans today. Something's going to happen, and just hide and watch. And so we took off for my husband's physical therapy and occupational therapy appointment this morning, like clockwork. We're just going, making good time and everything. And we get to Beaumont, and we are not that far from where we need to be, and all of a sudden we start hearing this sorry, I'm waiting for kids to get out of school. Anyway, so we start hearing this noise, and we're like, what in the world is that? So we're looking around trying to figure out, if it's our car or somebody else, if it's a road noise or anyway. So yeah, it turned out that it was time to pull over to just check it out. So there was a spot that I thought, well, I'm not going to pull in there. I'll happen to be the driver today. And I think my husband was a little bit miffed at me because I didn't pull into that spot. And I thought, no, I said, let's go down to the Tex Joy parking lot. It's just up the road. We can make it that far. He said, okay. So we did. We pulled into their parking lot, out of the way of all the potential business that they might have. This is the Tex Joy main office, okay, here in Beaumont area. And so we pull in, like I said, and I have to tell you, we looked at that tire and it was flat. Flatter than I had seen a tire in a long time. Thankfully, it didn't shred, and it could have been worse. So I'm thinking, okay, here we are. We have a flat. He's got physical limitations for his upper body because of the chest, that the rib cage they have to cut open whenever you have open heart surgery, which he had in May, and that's not healed yet. That's going to take completely healed about a year. Okay, so we are just 3 months past that. And it's like, okay, you're not supposed to be picking up anything more than, it was 5 pounds, now it's 10 pounds. But that tire in the back weighs more than that. So I'm thinking, he's already opening the back of the hatchback of the car, and looking for we're moving things out of the package area. And anyway, I'm looking at that tire and I'm thinking, okay, I get to pull this thing out of here. Well, he found all the pieces to the jack, and I don't know what he was thinking, but it looked like he was thinking he was going to try to handle this. So the tire wasn't very heavy, which I was happy to say. Also, it was not one of those little you pop it donut things that used to come in the cars. It was a full-size tire, and it had never been used, so that was promising as well. We've only had this car 5 years, and it was a used car when we bought it, but it was one of those certified ones. And the previous owner had low mileage and it looks like never used that spare. So that was all good news. So I pop it out of I said pop. I haul it out of the back of the car, set it down on the ground, and I'm rolling it. And about that time, and he's getting the jack stuff together, and I'm thinking that better not be more than your 10 pounds. So anyway, he puts that on the ground, and he proceeds to try to take the hubcap off, and I'm looking at him like, what the heck are you doing? And so he was mad and frustrated with the circumstances, and he just gave me the same look that I gave him, like, what are you talking about? And so anyway, so about that time, a car pulls up behind us from the other side of the parking lot, and I thought it was somebody who was leaving, and it turns out that it was one of the folks that worked there. And he says, can I help you guys? And he had a handicap placard on his mirror, and I thought, well, I don't think you can really do this, but we're going to talk anyway. I said, well, okay, thank you. And by this time we have already gotten, between the two of us, we have stood on the wrench to get the lugs off, so there was no danger in him hurting himself so far. But of course, I was concerned. Anyway, so the gentleman says, "Let me call. I'm calling somebody to help you." And I said, "Okay." I'm thinking, what the heck? Turns out that he was the maintenance guy there, and he was calling one of the other staff members that was a real good guy too. And well, the whole staff's nice, and everybody there's wonderful. But anyway, so next thing we know, this fella drives up, and he's got a floor jack, a huge floor jack that you would use in your home shop or whatever, and a 4-way wrench, because the one that's in the back of the car is not a 4-way anymore. It's just anyway, you get it. So anyhow, so he picks up where we left off. Next thing you know, he's got that tire on there, and we're all buttoned up, and we roll to, we notice that there's not much air in the tire because it's been there for a while, you know, what, 9 years? Anyway, so the gentleman that was the maintenance guy says, "I've got a compressor in the shop back there. Just drive it on back there. We'll air you up." So they did. And along the way, the gentleman, I found out that the fellow in the car and the other guy both worked there, and I was telling him that I told the fellow in the car that we use this product, the Texas Joy products, all the time in our cooking, and have for decades. And we just really like all the spices and everything that they have, because they're better quality spices, in our humble opinion, in our usage of spices and such and that. So anyway, so he's told him that we like to use a lot of chili powder, until I found out how much sodium was in it, and I've cut back on that now. But anyway, he says, yeah, he says, do you use the light chili powder or the dark chili powder? I said, wait a minute, there's two? I said, I've only seen one on the shelves. He says, well, there are two. He says, now, it may be that that's just for the restaurant size containers, because I know that comes in really big containers. I said, so do you have that here for sale? And he says, yeah, probably so. He says, I don't really know for sure. I don't work in that department, but if you go to the front office, the girl there will help you out and let you know, and so forth. Well, so we did. We went to the office, and we thought, well, we're here, we might as well buy. We were out of chili powder almost. I got about that much in the jar, and that's not very much for us. So we went inside, and while we were there, I was telling the gentleman from the back office came around, and I said, I don't know what your status is with the company. I said, but I would like to share with you the wonderful thing that your employees did for us, helping us with our flat tire and everything, and just so helpful and wonderful, so nice and everything. And he says, well, that's kind of what we're here for, to help people. And he says, we're glad that it all worked out and everything. And so we got to talking about their business, and we told him that we always buy their brand first, unless we can't find the spice we need in their brand. And he said that his company had been around since his grandfather, and that the company has been around for 105 years. And he said, and that is the reason people like you, buying the spices they sell and other products for decades, is the reason why they're still there. So God blessed us with a wonderful rescue. He redirected us today. We did not make it to the therapy sessions today, and God had other plans. But he took care of us. He protected us. He provided help and aid, because I have never changed a tire before in my entire life. So I need to learn how to do that, I guess. You can see this gray hair. I've been around for a little while. You'd think I would know something about that by now. Anyway, I've watched it plenty of times. I felt like, I did get the jack in the right place and all that stuff, and we kind of got it started, my husband and I together. But I'm so thankful that these two fellas came along and helped us out, and God just used them. You just never know, when something like this is going to happen. So you pray that you get the best of the worst circumstances, and thanks be to God it was. So we went to our favorite tire store where we always buy our tires, and we had purchased the tire from them that had the flat. So it had a nail in it, turns out. They fixed it, installed it, put the spare back in the back, all for no charge because we buy our stuff there, and that's just part of their deal. But it's locally owned business, a local chain that's got several stores in the region, and anyway, nice people too. But you just don't know when God changes your plans like that. You have no idea why he did it, except that he probably was protecting you from something else. And we know in our hearts that something down the road could have been worse. We could have been in an accident. Somebody else could have been. You don't know. And maybe not. Maybe it was just time for us to not go to physical therapy today and to just take care of personal business of a different sort. Anyway, we are thankful for his protection. Have you seen God's fingerprints in your life like that? I know we see it all the time. He's always there. He loves us. He's there for us. He never leaves us or forsakes us. We have trials and we have tribulations, and that grows our faith. But he carries us through. Sometimes you have an unhappy ending, or what seems to be an unhappy ending, or maybe it's not the answer to your prayer that you thought, but God knows what's best for us, and he provides, and we are thankful to him. Now, you see this t-shirt I'm wearing. You might think that that's the only t-shirt I own because I've worn it in several in several of my posts so far, but it isn't. It just so happens that that was what I was wearing today. So here's our jar of Tex Joy chili powder that we bought at the store there on the site where they helped us, and we are so thankful, and such wonderful people. And they've always had a good reputation in the area, and they don't just sell here. You can go to their website online and order at www.texjoy.com. The local Walmart here has them, but I looked on the Walmart app and they sell it nationwide. So you can order it online if your store doesn't have it. Here in Southeast Texas, it's prevalent. It is a stronger and better spice. All their spices are high quality. You pay more for it, but you know what? When you get those dollar jars or the lesser expensive stuff with the store brands, those are good. They're good, but you're going to use a lot more of that to get the flavor that you would get in this. So anyway, I am not paid for this announcement, but I am thankful that God led us to their parking lot in our time of need. And I pray God's blessings on each of you, your family, and your world. Stay safe now. See you soon. Bye.